Well, welcome back. We are talking about how to take proper care of your eyes. So let's start here now. Why does someone need a diabetic eye exam, and kind of explain what that means a little bit?
Patients are diabetics and they come to us and say, my primary care physician wants me to have a diabetic eye exam. And we're going, no problem. The reason we're doing a diabetic eye exam is because diabetes can cause blindness in the eyes. And even if a patient has perfect blood sugar levels, perfect blood pressure, we still want to do a comprehensive examination looking at all those tiny blood vessels in the back of the eye because that sugar in the body may affect those blood vessels, causing them to leak blood and fluid into the eyes. It's called retinopathy, and that's when those blood vessels become damaged. And some patients do not know what's happening. You don't feel it, and you may not see that there's anything wrong with your vision, but there's blood vessels throughout the back of the eye that can be affected. So if we can catch diabetic retinopathy early stages and start treatment, then we can hopefully save that vision from later on potentially becoming lost. So really important to have a diabetic eye exam every single year. And the American Diabetic Association recommends you get a diabetic eye exam as soon as you are diagnosed. Your eye doctor will coordinate with your endocrinologist and your primary care physician to make sure everyone's on the same page, that we're watching for diabetic retinopathy.
All right, yeah, a nice insight there. And moving to some of the questions, because we're getting a lot in. The first one someone asked is, what is the best eye drop for severe dry eye?
So if someone has severe dry eye, we want to look at, do they just need an eye drop, or what are all the environmental factors that are contributing to the dry eye? What type of dry eye is it? Could they be on supplements to help with it? Could they have things like punctal plugs or amniotic membranes, or maybe prescription dry eye drops, because those are very different from over-the-counter dry eye drops. So to say what's the best dry eye drop, it depends on what type of dry eye you have and what may be contributing to it.
All right. And next question here, can you talk about the various eye doctor specialties and why we should go to these specialists? Should we get referral for them? Get a referral?
Absolutely. So I often get asked, what's the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist? An optometrist, which is what I am, we go to school, we have a doctorate of optometry. We can diagnose and manage conditions like glaucoma, macular degeneration, diabetes in the eyes. A ophthalmologist, they go to school typically an additional 4 years than an optometrist, but they're able to do the surgical procedures. So if someone needs cataract surgery, or if they have macular degeneration that needs active treatment, like injections of medicine into the eye, or they need a glaucoma surgery, some states don't allow optometrists to perform those procedures. So a specialist is, I always refer my patients when it's time for that surgical procedure, and I have a great referral network to my ophthalmologist going, this is the surgery they need, and then we proceed and do the follow-up for our patients.
Someone is saying, I recently was tested positive for COVID-19. I was prescribed cough syrup and nasal spray, both listed side effects for the eyes, such as blurriness. How serious is this?
So both of those can contain an antihistamine that can cause dryness to the eyes. That's what we see when patients come in and they're on these oral antihistamines, cough syrups. They can dry out that tear film, which can lead to blurry vision or vision that becomes intermittent. It comes and goes. So typically we'll treat that condition of dryness, and then hopefully, that medicine that they're on is temporary. Otherwise, we do look for long-term dry eye treatments.
Absolutely. And we also talked about some, or we haven't spoken about this yet, but let's talk about it now, with some new drugs for dry macular degeneration. Can we talk a little bit about that?
So absolutely, macular degeneration, the macula is in the very back of the eye, which allows you to see straight ahead. So that controls your central vision like you're watching me right now. And what happens over time, the pigment in that macula, the center of the vision, may deteriorate or change the pigment where it's just not as robust anymore. causing you to lose vision. This is typically found later in life. It can be genetic. There's other factors like the sun and smoke may be contributors as well. Well, for the longest time, patients that have dry macular degeneration, meaning there's no bleeding and there's no fluid in the back of the eye, there was no treatment for it. Now, in this past year, we have 2 new medications on the market. They are injected into the eye, just like wet macular degeneration, and they're used for patients that have dry macular degeneration or geographic atrophy. So it's been exciting to hear about new drugs because we're always looking for new treatments to help with different eye conditions.
All right, well, we're going to take another break here. Again, we're talking about how to take proper care of your eyes. Send in those questions to the number right there at the bottom of your screen. We'll be right back.